How much control does former President Trump have over the Republican Party? One of North Dakota senators believes quite a bit. In a recent article, Politico interviewed several Republican senators after learning of insults used by President Trump describing Senator Mitch McConnell at a recent Republican donor event at Mar-a-Lago. The article got the opinions of those senators who agree the party would do better if McConnell and Trump worked together, especially if Trump were reelected in 2024. Among those quoted is North Dakota Senator Kevin Cramer, who says, quote, "The party cannot be successful without Donald Trump, and Donald Trump cannot be successful without the Republican Party," end quote. I asked him to elaborate, and Senator Cramer told me Donald Trump created the modern Republican Party that has been very successful, citing his first election win, the change to an America First globalism, as well as Republicans on the ballot doing better because President Trump was on the ballot. But it works both ways. Senator Cramer says the former president knows just how far he'd get if he were to try to start a third party.
Donald Trump can't go his own way, create a third party, and be successful without the Republican Party either. And he readily recognizes that. I had a good conversation with him about 2 weeks ago. He called me to talk about some political strategies, and it's very clear that he knows that his role in politics is in the Republican Party.
I also asked Senator Cramer who he would consider the current leader of the party. He says, though not in a formal role, it's President Trump, saying, quote, "Pretty much every Republican senator up for re-election has gone down to Mar-a-Lago and asked for his endorsement, as have those in open seats," end quote.
A Cannonball man.